Hey, good morning, boys and girls. How y'all doing? This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is a brief video from the real news behind the news. Today is June 17th, 2020, and briefly we want to talk about something that's going on right now. We all aware of the protests that's going on throughout America in response to police brutality, the long-term, deeply seated racism that's been here ever since America existed. But what we want to talk about right now is how the corporate elite, these corporations, are basically hijacking this movement. How the corporations are basically trying to capitalize off all this chaos. Now, if you look on our page, The Real News Behind the News, we posted a couple of articles how Quaker is saying they finna take Aunt Jemima. Y'all remember when we were kids, we had the little joke, Aunt Jemima on the grit box? You know what I'm saying? Uncle Ben, the black dude on the rice thing, Mrs. Butterworth. I found that y'all remember that KFC commercial when they had Colonel Sanders rubbing all up on Miss Butterworth, look like an old slave master with the big black mammy from from the slave days. But what you got to understand right now is what's happening is these corporations, they don't give a damn about us. They're really trying to capitalize off of all this unrest to quote-unquote rebrand themselves. Think about this. Quaker is now saying that we realize that Aunt Jemima is based in racism. Well, hell, if y'all just now noticing that, and that company, Aunt Jemima been on the grid, on the cert for what? Damn near at least 50 years. Cause I'll be damn near 50. I'll be 50 this year though. This year. So the corporations mean to tell us that they just now realizing that Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, Miss Butterworth is based in ancient racial stereotypes. Now, what the corporations are doing is basically capitalizing off a movement to make themselves seem as if they're not racist anymore. Think about this. If the corporations really wanted to help black people, don't you think they would basically come out and help us economically? You know what I'm saying? Instead of them just posting on their websites, Black Lives Matter, don't you think it would matter mostly to black people if you all put some of your manufacturing centers inside urban areas? Don't you think it matter to black lives if y'all put some of your distribution centers in urban areas where there's been a lack of income equality for years? Now, what they're trying to do is make us think that they really care, when all they really care about is the bottom line. They don't care about you protesting. They don't care about you marching, because they know as soon as you finish marching, we're going to march our tired black asses into these stores and continue to buy their products. Look at Nike. Now, let me give you an example. Nike, they went and put all this money behind Colin Kaepernick. Why do you think that's so? It's not so much because they championing Colin Kaepernick, because if they was, they'll understand what he's saying. The systematic racism that's been here is not just dealing with police brutality, but again, it's dealing with income inequality. If they really wanted to help Colin Kaepernick spread his message, they would literally put some of these stores, Nike would literally stop making and manufacturing all their paraphernalia and all their goods overseas in these sweatshops using child labor, and bring some of those manufacturing centers here and put them in our neighborhoods. Show us that you really care. Now, what the corporations are doing is using this to try to rebrand themselves as being good, upstanding companies who are not racist anymore. So pay attention to what they're doing, man. They're hijacking hijacking our protests. They don't really give a damn about us, because again, if they did, they would try to help us economically, but they're not. All they're doing is looking at their bottom line. Fooling you. Can think about it again. We've been known, any black person who's been eating Miss Butterworth syrup know that Miss Butterworth is an example of the old-time slave, big black mammy, house Negro, fixing master some pancakes. We all know that. Uncle Ben is the butler. You know what I'm saying? That you want some more rice, sir? That's what Uncle Ben was. You know what I'm saying? Aunt Jemima was that Negro who's fixing pancakes for the white children, you know what I'm saying, during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, because that's the only job she could get was a house or was a maid. Now they want you to think that they are not as racist as they used to be. Well, again, prove to us that you Black Lives Matter. Take some of your manufacturing jobs from overseas where you're using child labor, literally, paying these folks pennies a day, pennies, you know what I'm saying, pennies per hour to manufacture your products and then bring them back here and stick them in our neighborhood. Again, these corporations don't give a damn. Don't let them fool y'all. You see what I'm saying? But we as black people, we just jump on anything. Hey, they finna take Snap, Crackle, and Pop off the cereal box. Well, guess what? What they gonna replace it with? Snap, Crackle, and PeeWee? Even if they do, that doesn't mean that the people who own, you know what I'm saying, that Kellogg's, the owners are not still racist. You see what I'm saying? So don't be fooled, man, by what you see on the news. These are things that they use. These are tools of propaganda, man. All they want to do is distance themselves from the racist past that they have been involved in and make it seem like they are less racist today than they have always been. So, y'all, this is just a quick video, man. Y'all go over to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a greater in-depth video about this subject where we're going to tell you how long Aunt Jemima been on that grit box, or how long Mrs. Butterworth been in existence. You know what I'm saying? And we know that it comes up through the racial it's racial stereotyping, but all of a sudden now they got to change their heart. They must just found Jesus and repented of their racism. But again, in my opinion, if you really want to show us that Black Lives Matter, show us economically. You know what I'm saying? Put some of your manufacturing, your distribution centers in our neighborhoods. Help our people gain economic equality. You see what I'm saying? Then you really got a ground to stand on. Other than that, just changing shit on changing characters on a cereal box, changing character on a bottle of syrup, that shit don't do nothing for black people's everyday lives. How is taking Aunt Jemima off that bottle of syrup gonna stop police brutality? How is that gonna help poor kids, you know what I'm saying, get a better education? How is that gonna beautify our neighborhoods? It's not. All it's gonna do is basically make you think that they really give a damn about you, when these capitalist corporate entities don't care nothing about, really they don't care nothing about none of us, blacks, whites, or whatever, but they damn sure don't care about us. So hey, y'all check us out on YouTube. Until y'all see me on another video, y'all be blessed.